when a girl gets engaged, every relative that she has, like every, your sister, your mother, your aunt, everybody subscribes, the actual bride to every wedding magazine that's out there. I was getting like magazines, I'm like, I didn't ask for that, I didn't ask for that. So just through like, bridal magazines and stuff, I would look through and try to get an idea of, what type of wedding I would want to have. And then there was a couple of places, but this place just really stood out to me. And I think the first time we met them, like, we didn't even really have to think about it. It was instant. The chemistry that we had with Dan and Jim, they were very professional, but it just felt like it wasn't all just about, getting the deal, and it was just more about the person, like getting to know us and what we liked and what would be like a perfect wedding for us.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that
no pressure for them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times
whatsoever.
when we would look or speak to somebody about anything like DJ stuff or whatever, you kind of feel like it's more about the business. It's not the person. And with them, it was just it was a warm embrace. So it was comfortable. You felt that it wasn't just about, it's your wedding. I've done tons of weddings. It was more about getting to know us and really trying to make a perfect wedding for us,
right,
based on our personalities and what we liked.
To make our wedding different from any other wedding that they had ever done before, and to really make it, like you said, our wedding, and very specific to us and what we were interested in and what we were into, and that's exactly what they did. Yeah.
It was great. It was great to work with them. I think I was actually sad after everything was like done, and I think I came here just to pick up, some final like either bottles of wine or something from the wedding that was left over, and just the whole year and a half of planning. It was like kind of like, oh my God, it's like done. It's, because it was such a joy to work with them. It was almost like sad. It's like you have a friend for like a year, and then it's like, oh, I'll see you when I see you. So they were really great to work with, and it was fun. That's what I liked about it.
Like Carole said, they were really great to work with. We had a number of meetings with them, over the course of the year and a half, really, that we were working with them. And as we got closer and closer to the wedding date, the meetings became more and more frequent, and we started getting down to more and more details. But every single aspect of the wedding was carefully planned out and thought of. They made excellent recommendations to us as far as who we could use for an officiant, who we could use for a photographer, and we wound up choosing Lori Rhodes, who did a phenomenal job, and I know that she's worked with a lot of Jim and Dan's clients, and we were just extremely happy. But the best thing about, and what a lot of people at the wedding said to us, was that both Jim and Dan were there that day, and it was clear to everybody that making our wedding the best wedding that they've ever done was their top priority, and was the only thing on their mind, and the only thing that they were focused on that day. And they really did a great job for us, and people are still talking to us about
I still have cousins and friends and family who talk about like just fun, and just when we see the pictures, everybody dancing, eating, and having a great time.
Absolutely, the most fun day of our lives.
Yeah, you just want to jump back into that picture. Like I remember I said to you like a couple days ago, because we have the picture on like one of those digital frames, so we have all the wedding pictures, and I'm like, don't you just want to go back? And because it just looks like so much fun when you're looking at it. So, but they're just really professional people to work with. Anytime I had a question, or if I had an idea, or it was just, they were always there. And even if we had an idea, they would, welcome it, so they wanted to work with us. It wasn't just all about, they wanted themselves plus us to kind of come together and
they
work
really,
together.
They really wanted our input and our ideas and our thoughts about how we wanted that day to work out. And that helped them create our wedding. And I think create is really the right word, because I think with them that every wedding is a different experience, and that's really what they try to do, is they try to craft it so that that no two weddings are alike. And that's really what we were looking for. We wanted to do something different than our friends and family had done and what they were used to, and from the places that they showed us, where we wound up having the wedding at Studio 450. We fell in love with it, and to the table linens and the tables and doing high tables and low tables.
Just the idea, the concepts, like
right, all
beautiful.
the concepts that they kind of helped us develop through thoughts and discussions that we had with them throughout the process. Really helped create a very, very
It's truly
special
like when
day for us.
When I saw it for the first time, when I walked in and I saw everything, and and it was a day that, it was a rainy day. And like for any bride, when they wake up and they have rain, you're kind of like, oh, it's raining, and everyone says, oh, it's good luck, and you're like, yeah. When I walked in and I saw it, everything that was outside, rain or whatever was going on outside, was gone. I like walked into, it was magical. It sounds kind of weird to say that, magical, but it was just so beautiful that whatever weather, monsoon, or anything that was going on outside that we couldn't help because it's Mother Nature, it was just, I just walked into
Everything inside was perfect.
beauty. It was amazing.
Carole says rain. It was a hurricane that day. It was Hurricane Hannah, if you remember, September 6th, 2008.
Hurricane Hannah. But it was just beautiful, like just white, different colors, orchids. I was taken back. I knew that it was going to be beautiful, but when you see it for the first time, it was just breathtaking. Like, it's just hard to say every word that what it is. I could be here forever, but it was just, between the colors and the palette of everything, it was amazing.
One of the great things that Dan did was that after the ceremony itself, he took us into a back room so that we could just sort of
have some time
relax for a second, have our first drink after, as a married couple, and
hors d'oeuvres.
he had the hors d'oeuvres there for us, and everything was great. I think I ate most of yours as well because they were.
I was in a tight dress, so it's kind of like,
really
you try to
good.
breathe and eat, and like, okay, that moment of the ceremony, and that's past, you can relax, but.
And we had a chance to be away from everyone, and it was just the two of us in the bridal room alone. And
What did we have? We had a goat cheese tower.
The goat cheese tower. I remember there was shrimp.
I think bacon and shrimp. Those always go good together, bacon and shrimp. They were really good.
But the food was absolutely great, and the risotto. There was risotto cakes, right?
Oh, yeah.
And those were really good.
Even the main course.
And then then when we finally went upstairs and joined everybody else, it was I made sure that we were still getting those appetizers, those hors d'oeuvres to us, because everything was really great.
Amazing. Hands-on, totally hands-on. There was not a person who had to wait for a drink or waited for their food. Anybody who needed anything, and it's almost like they kind of knew if somebody needed something before the person even asked for it. They would read the crowd and, totally, would get you anything that you needed. There was no delay in like service, but they were just nice people to work with. They just seemed happy to be there. Like it didn't really seem like, oh, like a job, like I'm working. It was just, they were very friendly to everybody, and they were hands-on, and they helped anybody who needed help with anything, which was great.
And there were
Very
plenty
professional.
of people around as well. There was never a struggle, or not enough appetizers going around or hors d'oeuvres going around. There was absolutely enough people. There were enough servers, so that all the guests felt that they were.
There was a friend of mine who brought her daughter to the wedding, and she's never been to a wedding that had so many different fancy types of foods and rich foods, and I guess she had a little tummy ache, and one of the guys must have heard, and one of the staff members came right over and gave her ginger ale and was trying to make her feel better. And like, people don't really all the time take the time to pay attention to stuff like that. It's a little kid who doesn't feel good, and this waiter came right over and saw that she was not feeling too good and gave her some ginger ale. And I remember hearing from her mother that, that was really nice that someone took the time to, be so attentive, to a child. And they were just hands-on, very professional. I mean, you never really had to wait or ask for anything. It was just, it's like they almost knew what you wanted before you asked for it, which was really great.
My father is never one who's easy to please, but he said that's the best wedding that he's ever seen. And that so many people still to this day tell us what a great time that they had at our wedding, that every aspect of it, from the ceremony,
the food,
which Dan and Jim are very involved in planning for us, to the food, to the photography,
yeah,
the DJ, and it all works together and creates a very, very special day. And everything worked seamlessly, and so many of our family and friends have told us that that's the best wedding that they've ever been to.
Yeah.
And it certainly.
And they want Dan to come over and cook for them so they could have that food again. I said, I don't know if I could really make that happen, but so.
And,
but it's good
and so
food.
many of our guests were in the wedding party, especially interacting with Dan and Jim,
joking around with them,
like they were part of the party for us. So
yeah,
they really did a great job, and got along great with everybody, and really contributed to us having such a great day. Well, they owe me a cupcake, because I only got to have a bite of my cupcake, and then I was saying goodbye to people and talking to guests, and then my cupcake was gone. So
because the wedding does go by very fast.
The day really did go by very fast, but they do owe me a cupcake.
I think for me, it's just walking into the ceremony, and having that kind of that nervous feeling, because it's you're nervous, you're in front of a whole bunch of people, and you're getting married. It's a big thing, and just making me feel like, just breathe, just smile, just walk out there and just walk into it and just take it in. And I think when I just saw just how beautiful everything was, it was just amazing. So I think for me, for making me feel comfortable and just talking to me and saying, listen, it's going to be okay, everything, every bride's a nervous bride, and just walking in and just seeing just what they created for us just made me feel really, really, really happy. And I felt that, that was very nice of him to make me feel so relaxed.
And looking back on that day, there's not a thing we would have changed.
I wouldn't change anything.
Not a thing.
Mm-mm.
Everything was absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.